This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Emily.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Elizabeth,
co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandoms, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hey Pageant Pals,
I'm Maddie.
and I'm Jess.
And welcome back to another episode of Crowned and Dangerous.
Maddie is falling asleep as we speak.
It's been a long day, but I feel like every podcast we're like, it's been a long week, a long day. It's the first time we are out of the pageant pad.
I know, it's weird.
We lit some candles, we're doing a seance.
I know, it's actually really weird.
We're doing a
That
seance
we're not in our living room
of
anymore.
Jessica's ex-boyfriends.
Summoning them.
Yeah, all of them, all
from the
35
dead.
of them.
35. Could you imagine?
I don't even know. No,
I don't know.
Jessica is pretty tame compared to. Actually, I won't get into it. No, not compared to me. Compared to
compared
friends
to.
of me.
Oh yeah. Tame, for sure. How has your last couple weeks been? We didn't record last week because we were in the process of moving out of the pageant pad.
Right.
So we're back.
I have just been moving. I've been in Green
been so
Bay
busy.
for work stuff. I've been in Michigan for wedding stuff. I've been gone
Maddie
all
got
day
married.
today. I got married this weekend, guys. Don't worry. It's an open relationship. No, I'm just kidding.
It's an open marriage.
Yeah, the ring is 7 carats.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't expect anything less.
6 figures I was only for.
No, 7 carats.
I like that.
But no,
It's
just
time.
I've just been all over Wisconsin lately, and I just need a day.
Yeah. Seriously. I know it's been kind of the same for me. Like I think I broke my back while we were moving, pretty sure. There's a day where I was just moving stuff by myself, and like I ended up getting all my stuff out that one night.
Okay.
So I was hustling, got all settled in, still don't have everything set up. Currently have an unassembled dresser in my living room.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where that goes. I just don't feel like doing it. But
I like how I was sitting here like, I'm so tired. Like, I was in Green Bay, I was in Michigan. You're like, yeah,
I'm
me
just
too.
like, yeah, me too.
It's like, I moved.
No, I moved. I was in Milwaukee last weekend, and then I volunteered tonight at the Children's Hospital, which is exciting but also tiring.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and it's 4th of July weekend coming up, so we have,
Yeah,
holiday
because we were
things.
just shooting our Christmas promo, and
I
now
know.
it's already 4th of July. We're over halfway to Christmas.
Yeah, we were reminiscing our last night right before we left the pageant pad.
Of all
We're
of
reminiscing out on our
the
little balcony,
memories we've had, and
watching the
now
sunset.
the pageant pad is defunct.
Now the
It's
pageant
gone.
pad is separated between two
It
homes
is. It is.
with still
separated.
2 loving parents, but
Separated in 2 different towns now.
long distance.
Yep. If we can make it work, anyone can make it work.
That's very true.
Right?
We're still gonna bring you all the good stuff.
Oh, of course.
But last episode was just right after Gretchen stepped down. So if you haven't listened to that, go ahead and get back there and listen to that one.
But a lot has happened since.
Yeah.
A lot of state pageants have commenced.
A lot, yes. I'm pretty sure the class is complete now. I think
Wow.
just last weekend was the last state competition, so the class is complete. But we are still waiting for a date and a venue for Miss America.
Can you imagine? Just wait. Watch us. They'll be like, all right, so it's going to be in this high school gymnasium.
In middle of nowhere.
Yep, exactly.
because they can't find sponsors or whatever. But seriously, it just like, that would make me so nervous as a state title holder, just not really knowing.
I feel like it puts less focus on Miss America. I think some people have the argument where they're like, Miss America is 2 weeks out of the year, like it doesn't matter how you do. And some people are like, no, you are chosen partially on how well you will succeed at Miss America, so you need to do well at it. Depending on which mindset you have, is it even, if they can't even find a date or venue, is it really even still valued?
I just wonder what they're doing right now. You know, like, what is the national board doing? Just kind of sitting around and waiting? Are they actively trying to find a location? Like, now there's all these girls, like 52 girls that are just kind of waiting.
Well, it's just like last year when they were all waiting, not knowing what was going to happen with the competition rounds.
Yeah.
Just being like, what's on stage interview? What's this? How do prelims work?
Sure.
No one knew. And now it's again, everybody thought, okay, well, this year will be a lot smoother. And now no one knows anymore.
Nobody knows. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think anything's guaranteed.
Lessons would be learned the first time.
We would hope. But, I don't know.
I don't know either.
So far, things are just so up in the air.
And it's like, how many times can you beat a dead horse? Like, I just feel like every time it's always like, nope, we still don't know what's going on.
Yep.
Things are still chaotic. No answers.
Like, is it ever?
There are no answers. People are still left in the dark.
Yeah.
Lack of transparency. Like,
what the frick?
It's just like you wake up and it's, oh, again? I mean, we're not even surprised anymore. I'd be more surprised if
there was something.
If there were sponsors and
stone.
venues and production, and it's not on ABC anymore.
No, it'll be on NBC this year, and that's all we know for sure. We also know that there was a 23% drop in viewership from 2017, so we'll see how that turns out.
Well, the thing is, too, a lot of people watched last year, too, because they wanted to see the new changes. Whereas now they know the changes, so will they still watch?
I know.
That'll be interesting to see as well. Some people might stick with it. Some people may be like, you know, I don't want to watch an interview competition.
Right. Who knows? There have been some things like that have happened, though, at state competitions within the last couple weeks, though. One of them was just little tidbits of pageant news, but Miss Idaho from last year actually crowned her sister this year, but the new girl had to resign her title after being accepted into Columbia. So she decided to pass her title to the first runner-up because she was accepted and there wasn't an option to defer. So she decided to take that on. Like, I'll support that. I mean, she'll probably have a great experience there, and she's pursuing her education, which is something that's probably more important than a year of chaos.
Right.
I don't know.
Exactly. And that's what Miss America is supposed to be promoting is scholastic ambition.
Right.
So that was the right move. Yeah, so that's the right move to make, honestly. And the thing is, your education's so important versus
for a lifetime.
Right, a year in a pageant. And I'm not saying those memories won't be great, but
yeah. But I mean, this is
the rest of your life. This is a year of your life.
Right.
You know, Miss America's a year of your life, and
it's a stepping stone.
Right.
People always say, like, it's a stepping stone to better things.
Right. It's never end all be all.
Nope. Other fun little things. Miss Oregon is the first Indian American state title holder from Oregon. Also my sweetheart sister. Woo! That's exciting. And then Miss Tennessee has their first African American title holder from Tennessee. So diversity in this class, which is pretty cool.
Oh,
always neat. On that front.
Has there ever been a Native American title holder, Miss?
I don't know.
That'd be kind of interesting. Cool.
I'd be curious to know. I'm sure probably somewhere. Oh yeah, I mean Miss Oklahoma, Triana Brown was Native.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure probably from a handful of other states, but that's cool.
That's awesome.
There have been some weird things going on too. South Carolina, we just talked about this like just before we started recording, but a new Miss South Carolina was just crowned this past weekend, I believe. It was her first time competing at state. And there's kind of like the state's divided pretty much right now, which is sad.
And South Carolina has like, that's Rachel Wyatt. I remember
that's a competitive state.
When I remember Susie Roberts, both like those two I idolized. The reason I watched Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders making the team last summer was to watch Rachel Wyatt. That's why I did it.
I know. Oh my God. Yeah. So, South Carolina, I mean, they're notorious for having like a super competitive state. They have so many contestants every single year.
And they always do well in Miss America.
Oh, usually. Yeah, they always do well. But so I guess right now there's some people that are upset that she won. I mean, that's going to happen in every state.
Right.
There's going to be people that are like, man, she shouldn't have won. I want to see the scores, whatever.
Yeah.
But this has been like kind of insane because there are like contestants and families and like directors and things getting involved in this, supposedly, hearing from a source who's from the state. But, and then there's other people that are like, you know what, get over it. Like the judges saw something in her, so we need to support her. Women support women.
Did you paint your nails again?
No.
They were.
Well, I got them done.
Oh, I said they were purple last time I saw them.
Yeah, I got them done again. They're like a corally pink.
Oh my gosh. Okay, continue.
You can tell we're tired. But yeah, basically South Carolina has been pretty divided.
At war.
Yeah, at war over this new title holder, which is so unfortunate because the poor girl, it's her first year being involved. She's the brand new Miss South Carolina. She's probably got a whole bunch of other stuff she's got to worry about right now. And there are people that are hating, which is sad.
I will say it once, then I will say it again. Do you know what I'm going to say? 2 words.
Say it.
I want you to guess.
Why am I?
Because, so people are upset about this girl winning because they say she has a weak talent.
Sure.
So then why do you think she won?
Final ballot.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Final ballot, everyone.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this later. I made a note of final ballot because every state had final ballot this year.
Yes.
Which is why I think a lot of states have, I mean, I don't want to throw any shade, but like people have said that many states have had winners who have had weaker talents than people who have made top 10 in their states. I mean, people are like, I don't know, like there were other girls in the top 10 that should have made top 5, that should have won or placed better, but they didn't. Final ballot. I mean, that's really the only way to explain it.
Right.
And I've said before that I have mixed feelings about final ballot because ultimately, like, obviously if you're scoring something, it should be based on scores. And they shouldn't kind of be thrown out the door at the very end. But also at the same time, I get final ballot because, I don't know. But at the same time, I don't know. I have very mixed feelings because I feel like when it comes down to the top 5, like, I feel like any of them could handle it. But
I also think judges throw scores.
Well, yeah.
So,
and we've said this before too, like judges will throw scores regardless. So I don't really understand.
I mean, a good judge shouldn't, but there's human error in everything.
That's why I want to have like a really experienced judge come as a guest on the podcast and be like, what goes on actually behind the table.
Right.
I'm very curious. But yeah, so there have been some issues in South Carolina, issues in other states too.
Well, even if you look at random states, and I honestly don't even know if it happened this year, but it's happened in years past with final ballot. Like the overall talent winner will be like 4th runner up.
Right.
And it's like, what?
Right.
How?
Right.
Or
overall talent winner, overall like interview.
You and evening gown or swimsuit, even whatever, will be like bottom of the top 5.
Right.
And it's like
what the heck happened?
So I mean, people say consistency is key, but that person could have scored the highest, but they could have just been low balloted too, because I've heard of instances where judges want somebody to win, so they'll take the people who are her highest competition and purposely score them low in final ballot. So if they're afraid other judges score them high, they can even it out.
Oh my God.
So I've heard of instances where people should have been 1st or 2nd runner up because they were 4th or 3rd runner up because judges don't want them to get too ranked by other judges. So then they'll upscore, like say somebody who maybe should have been at the bottom of the top 5, but they'll upscore them because they know other judges won't. So then they'll get like 1st runner up or 2nd runner up. So I've heard so many instances of these things happening, and it's just
so the top 5 is even a crapshoot.
This is what it's. Judges are pretty much. I mean, at top 5, you're basically a pawn in the judges' game.
They decide,
right?
I mean, they decide it all, but like. But it doesn't matter based on your performance then.
Well, and I think it's interesting too. You could look at it from this angle as if Miss America's about scholarship and talent. Why do we have final ballot? Because it's like you're not judging off of that. You're judging off who you like the best.
Right.
Like you're not judging off of their talent or their scholastic ambition or their platform anymore.
Right. So why?
Maybe your platform, if you're like, oh, I like their platform, but.
So why is preliminary talent 50% then? Right. If you're not going to be scoring on that at the end. What a nightmare.
And it's, I guess, don't they ask who they think should be Miss whoever, not who scored the highest, because then they would keep the scores.
Sure.
So final ballot is there because they don't want to base it just off of scores alone.
Oh.
So basically it's, hey, score well enough to get in the top 5, but just make sure that they like you.
Make sure you're likable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
It's really, really weird once you dissect it and think about it.
It is just the strangest thing.
And it's sad how much stock we put into people's opinions
Well,
for them to
right.
rank you.
And we've talked about this. We talked about this a couple episodes ago, I think, when we were discussing like state pageants and a little survival guide. It's like you have 5 people behind the table who don't care about you when you walk off that stage.
No.
So why are you investing so much energy?
Well, and it gets hairy no matter what, because with
yeah.
final ballot, people are like, oh, they got low balloted in final ballot. But then when it's just based off scores, like some people think weird things still happen, and they're like, they threw scores. So regardless, no one's going to be happy either way.
It's never
because
going to be fair.
No,
quote,
it's
unquote,
never
fair.
going to be fair.
No.
Never.
No, there will always be something crazy that happens. People will be...
Especially like when judges are selected, a lot of the time experienced judges aren't selected. It's very novice based.
Oh, can we talk about that for a second?
Yes.
Because this year, specifically at Miss Wisconsin, I'm going to say this.
Jessica's spilling the tea, everyone.
I'm just going to say
It's
this
not
because,
me this time.
because I'm like kind of upset about it. That this year there was a judge that dropped out.
There's every year though.
Oh, every year. There was a judge that dropped out. This is just from what I heard. If I'm wrong, DM us and
It's always somebody dropping out or somebody like being friends with a contestant on Facebook or something last minute that no one could find out until the day of merchant's dinner,
Right.
you know.
So there was a judge that had to drop. So they replaced it with someone who was a hairstylist from somewhere.
And I told you this, Jessica. I said, what is the irony? And I'm not discrediting any of this person's achievements, but I said, how ironic is it that Miss America is no longer based on looks, but now they just have like a hairstylist and whatever
like
as
someone
a judge.
who invested their career in.
And that was like the only
beauty.
information given on the judge at the time. It was so-and-so has been a hairstystylist for so many years. Like that was all that was given. So I said, how ironic is that? We're not based on looks, but she's going to judge your hair. Like,
I don't know. It's like, if this is top-notch Miss America that we expect it to be, I expect the panel of judges to also be top-notch. I don't know. I just get really frustrated about that. And I was like, really? Could you not have had someone sign in as like a backup like a year ago, so that if someone did have to step down, someone else could come in who was also qualified and would know something about this program and about the title holders that are competing for it? I don't know. I was just so frustrated about that because, like, if I invested so much time and energy to come to this and compete for this, for a job that I was very passionate about, I don't want someone just coming up off the street and being like, oh, yeah, I'll decide on it. Like, oh, yeah, hold on, let me put down my shears. Like, I'm coming in to judge a pageant on a whim. These girls have worked their butts off to be here, and they're just grabbing someone in. I don't. I'm going to end it there because
But regardless, panels in general have like one experienced judge.
Yeah.
Like that's all. And
that's
then
what
it's
makes
like
me mad.
random other things.
That's what makes me mad. This hairdresser, I'm sure they're a great person. I'm sure that whatever.
Or they'll have, or like not, and I'm talking Wisconsin in general, but random states will have like, I judged fairest of the fair one year. Like really?
Wow, you're qualified.
We want to hire you. Like, as much as being a title holder is a job, a judge is also a job.
Yeah.
So you have to be qualified for this position. I think it's what happens is people wait too long, they get desperate, and they scramble.
Yep, and they're like, you're good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Hey, we'll give you a free meal if you judge this. Like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, anyway, judging a disaster. Anyway.
And I get to, like, I understand it's really hard to find judges, but
because you have to search out a state, whatever.
Right, but when you are a state, like, that is part of your job, that is expected. You can't just chintz on that.
It's expected to have you need to have an exceptional panel of judges from a lot of different areas, too. Because I know, like, I've been to pageants where, like, all the judges are, like...
Yep, there's no dance judge, or there's no singing judge, or there's no instrumentalist, or no
instrumentalist, no, I don't know.
Novelty act person, like... You need to have someone, because like, that's not fair.
No, you need people from a lot of different areas that can, kind of come together and also choose a girl who's well-rounded.
And it's Right, and it's one of those things, like, that's part of the job of running a state organization. If you can't handle that, then you need to look internally and figure it out. It's not fair.
No, it's not. It's like, these girls put so much freaking work into it just to kind of be thrown to the side in terms of the people that are going to choose who the winner's going to be.
I agree.
Let's move on. So, you pointed this out. You found this post from Lizzie Jensen, who actually took over for Cara Mund when Cara became Miss America. Lizzie stepped in as Miss North Dakota, so she was Miss North Dakota for like 6 months or whatever, for the remainder of the year. And Maddie sent this Facebook post from her about how Lizzie didn't make top 5, which
top 10.
That's one thing. But then she said she also didn't make top 11, which was heartbreaking because she was someone who had the job of Miss North Dakota for half of a year and still wasn't chosen.
Right.
Which is, I don't know. Like, I get it because it's just like, it's a crapshoot and anybody can take it. But at the same time, like, this girl knows the job of Miss North Dakota because she did the job of Miss North Dakota and they still didn't choose her.
I want to look at this
What are your thoughts?
Number one perspective is you were first run up to a Miss America. And it's like, you didn't make top 10.
Right.
Second of all, they could have just not chose her because they're like, you know what, she already got her chance of being Miss North Dakota for 6 months. Like, you're being greedy. Take whatever.
You're being greedy.
You know, maybe. Yeah. I'm not saying that that's my view, but I'm just saying that maybe their judges were like, no, sorry.
Right. That could be
and
true.
Number 3, I get it. And she said, I was devastated. I felt dumb for putting myself out there.
Yep.
All of the hurtful things had been said about me, and to me competing again, we're all being validated by a group of judges I poured my heart out to.
This is all from her Facebook
yes,
post.
This is what she was all saying. I understand.
Yeah.
You
were there.
Yeah, I really, really felt for her. Obviously, I wasn't first run up to Miss America, but I remember after when I wasn't called in a top 10 after being first runner up the year before, and I just was like, WTF just happened. And I remember crying to Courtney Pilot, and I was like, what the heck? I remember saying, like, what did I do? And she was like, I have no idea. And I remember I was actually with Alyssa Boehm, who just won Miss Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And her and I both didn't make top 10 that year. And we were just in the dressing room like, what do we do? Like, what do we do? And I felt like all the people who were like, oh, Maddie just, like, she never belonged in top 5 in the first place. She'll never do well. There was even a crazy theory that the year I was first runner up and Courtney won, that the top 5 was reversed.
Oh, yeah.
Where they thought that they accidentally messed up.
Whatever.
Like, the top 5, whatever. Just the theories people come up with. But I just remember I laid on my couch for 3 weeks after Miss Wisconsin and was like, I don't know what to do. And how embarrassing is it when people are like, oh, how did, and I didn't.
You're just like,
I didn't want anything. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want anything. Like, and this girl talks about how she said I should have known something was different when they asked me about Kirby in my interview. I'm guessing that's like a pet.
Yeah.
But I remember my interview, I just didn't agree. The judge and I just didn't agree on anything. Right. We didn't vibe with anything. I remember, I think one of the judges may have been a teacher or something. We were talking about NASA funding.
Sure.
And because under Obama, I think something with NASA was defunded or defunct or it was put away.
Politically and stuff.
And I remember she was like, how do you feel about Trump putting funding towards NASA when that could have been going to schools or something?
Okay.
And I think I talked about how I supported NASA funding because, back, I think it was the 60s when space exploration really brought everybody together, the space race. It was something that people watched for, brought people together. I don't know. I'm not in Pageant anymore. I don't have an eloquent answer, but I just remember this sense of togetherness and something that we could accomplish in a place where now everybody has such different opinions and there's just a wedge divided between everyone. This is one thing that could bring people together, and it did back then when the 60s were a huge time of racial injustice and everything, and it was kind of a symbol for hope for people. And if you go to the Kennedy Space Center, it's just this incredible. I mean, my dad, my sister, when they were telling me about this, whatever. And so I was like, no, I don't think we should be defunding NASA. And you know, all of these things, blah, 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 blah. Again, much better put together. And I remember she just gave me this look, kind of like an FU look, because I think she was an educator. Sure. But I just remember being like,
I don't know. It's just like one of those things, like, if that's how you feel, then say it in your interview. But also at the same time, a good judging panel wouldn't judge you based on.
Well, they also asked me some weird ass question about what makes me feel relaxed, and I was like, "What the heck?"
I had some really weird questions in my 2016 interview.
Really?
I just distinctly remember that. Yeah, I was not happy really walking out of there.
I was this 2018 year. I was fighting over whether the wall would be built or not. And it was like my last question. I was so annoyed.
That's not a good way to end.
No, I was really annoyed because I was like, I don't think it'll get finished or happen. Like, the judge is like arguing with me. He's like, well, they're already building it. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't think it's gonna get finished though. Whatever, funding, whatever. Dumb, stupid stuff. But
long story short, not the best interview.
No, not at all. And I don't know. There's just so many things that can go amiss or right. I also didn't put on my resume or my fact sheet that I was first runner-up the year before. Yeah. Because I've heard it's like putting a target on your back. I remember Chelsea Bachelotte's like, don't put it on your fact sheet. She's like, don't do it.
I'd never put a placement there.
No. So I mean, judges could have like looked on the website and seen if they wanted to previously. But no, so I feel this girl. I get it. It broke my heart a little bit when she wrote the line, maybe I'm just a 1.0 girl competing in a 2.0 world. Oh that made me so, like, it broke my heart because, again, it's just.
I know. There's this part in here where she's just talking about, like, what could she have done to get there. Like, she was like, maybe I should have stuck to singing Hallelujah for the 108th time. Maybe I should have posted more about my platform work on social media. Maybe I should have told them that Homegirl needs scholarship money to pay for my new program. Or maybe I'm just a 1.0 girl competing in a 2.0 world. I could have changed a lot of things, but if I did change those things, I wouldn't have been true to me.
So thanks for not being a sellout.
Yeah, you go, girl. Regardless of how you place, even though it's the worst feeling in the world. Yeah. I don't know. She said that she's at peace. She's at peace because she knows there's another better thing ahead. That she's grateful that she had this opportunity to even hold the job of Miss North Dakota while she did. Whereas some girls will never have that opportunity. So yeah, that was just kind of wild to me that, you know, this girl held this job and didn't place top 10. And it's just like, it just kind of confirms that nothing is ever guaranteed when you do this. No. And regardless of, if you compete for years and years and years, you may never win a title, and you have to be okay with that.
I wonder if she disclosed in her interview and her paperwork that she was.
I wonder.
Took over.
Yeah, I'm curious.
That would be interesting.
But yeah, just wild, wild stuff. So state pageants.
Write in with your devastating pageant stories.
Yeah, let us know how this year turned out for you.
We'll light a candle and we'll read your story and sympathize with you, and we'll pep you up if you need it.
We're always here for you. But yeah, state pageants have been a little crazy. The class is now complete, so currently we're just waiting on a date and a venue for Miss America. So I'm sure we'll report on that when we hear the news too.
Right on, we will.
But yeah, let's wrap up.
Let's wrap her up.
If you haven't looked at it yet, we do have a Spotify. So you can just search Crowned and Dangerous on Spotify. And we created a bunch of playlists for like a little pump up, or if you lost your pageant, there's a great angsty, sad playlist for that. Sad songs, pump up, exciting songs, whatever. You can follow along and add your favorites. We just thought that'd be a fun little thing. But aside from that, be sure to follow Public House Media and Crowned and Dangerous on Instagram and like us on Facebook. Subscribe, rate, and review the show wherever you're listening. You can comment on our posts, email us, slide into our DMs. We absolutely love to hear from you.
We'll be back in 2 weeks on July 18th for a brand new episode. Woo! This has been Maddie and Jess reminding you to always wear your invisible crown, keep it real, and if you just do not know what to say, world peace.
Bye!